Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-June 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Sagittarius collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Saggies in mid-June? We are still in Gemini season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, and we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Saggy in mid-June. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have some fun today, my good friends. Let's get this card out. There we go. Cool. And talk about fun. We got our good friend here, Mr. Bookhead himself. And for those of you that have been watching a while, you know I adore this card because it always puts a smile on my face when I see somebody adorned in books as clothing. I just think it's really cute. Now, it's very similar to the Page of Pentacles when this energy shows up. It is very much knowledge-based, very studious. Now, before we fully dive into it, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this fine individual right here, Mr. Bookhead, chilling right there. And we see this young person. They have a book for a hat, books for a damn necklace. They got scrolls, books in the arm, books all over the place. So again, very studious. Now, obviously, when we see the symbolism of books, we could think about information. So for some Saggies, everyone knows Saggies are very philosophical, very studious. So there could be a very thirsty mind on you in this time where there might be very certain things that you're trying to figure out, trying to work out, pondering the mysteries of the universe. That's something I always pick up with this card. Like, it's thinking big, which I think is great. As with the Page of Pentacles, this is great for new things, new endeavors, new hobbies, new work-related stuff. Now is a great time to acquire new knowledge and information for some of you. Now, when it comes to pages, I always say they're not just students. They could also be messengers. So there is something tied to Mr. Bookhead that can be about communication, conversation, the importance of it. So we're going to have to see how that all plays out. Now, the downside to this card, and you know me, I always like to give the upside and downside. Sometimes this card could be hyper-focused, right? Where there could be one very specific thing where it's like, I have tunnel vision, I'm hyper-focused on this, I'm not letting anything else distract me. And there's nothing wrong with focus, but there could be a few other things that Spirit wants you to cast your attention towards. And watch out for the very busy, busy, busy type of energy. But we're going to let Bookhead chill right there. And one day I will make a Halloween costume, I promise. But let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Saggy. What do we got in mid-June? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it's a very similar theme that I've been seeing in fire signs for a couple of weeks now. And it was like last week you were up to bat. The reading was titled A Big Return. And there seemed to be this energy that was like looping back on something, following back up with something, reanalyzing, reassessing, reapproaching certain things. So again, if there hasn't been anything, situations, cycles that have popped back up within this past week, just know that that energy could bleed over for a while because it's been showing up heavily in all the fire signs for quite a while now. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for my beautiful Saggy friends. What do we have in mid-June as we get towards the back end of Gemini season? Okay, that's a mixed bag. That's a bit of a mixed bag. These 2 cards came out together. So we start off in a very good, solid, sturdy place with the 10 of Pentacles. I love this card. It's like really, really nice for a whole variety of different reasons. But if that energy is so solid, then why is the 9 of Swords coming out with it? That's what we really want to check into here. Let's get one more. This might be a nuanced one. 7 of Wands. All right. I mean, I'm feeling neutral about what I'm seeing here. There's a lot of positive. There's a lot of upside. with the reading this week, but I just want to see what is going on here in the center. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and it tells us how the energy is going to flow. And you got a good even mix, a good distribution this week. I always say when there's too much of one element, it could be too lopsided. But you got a little bit of earth, a little bit of air, a little bit of fire. Sagis are very comfortable with these two elements on the back end. Now, when it comes to Earth, I always say it could represent results, but Earth is security and stability. I think of day-to-day routine, day-to-day life, regularly scheduled program, right? It could be money, work, business, finance, home, and family. So we think of all the material aspects of life. The downside to Earth is that it is not a fast mover whatsoever. This is an energy that is very, very slow, very, very meticulous. So it's something that we want to keep an eye on because that's the downside of it as well. Sometimes it's an energy that can make us feel stuck or feel like we're running in place or that we're not making a lot of progress. So we do want to keep an eye. In the center, we have the total opposite, right? Whereas this is very predictable. Air energy is not. Air is the fastest mover. So it's like we go from the slowest to the fastest. Now, air is very logical, pragmatic, the intelligent type of energy here. It's about information, giving or receiving. So that harkens back to Mr. Bookhead from a couple minutes ago. But I like it. Usually it's just super intelligent and it's like either looking for information or receiving it. It's the biggest element of communication, conversation, messages. And the downside to air is that sometimes it could be a little too clinical. It could be a little cold. It could be a little too detached. And sometimes it could also represent overthinking. And then here on the back end, we have the fire. Your power element, your comfort zone. Cool. Now, I always say when it comes to fire, that's the element of action. So whether it's the actions you take, the actions other people take, the actions you want to take. Think of health and wellness and vitality, energy levels. Usually fire is a very high energy level, so that could be good. But watch out for fluctuations in energy level. The downside to fire is the unpredictability, right? Because there's the explosive quality to it. And usually Sagis are very good at going with the flow, rolling with the punches. But yeah, there can be an explosive nature. And especially when you combine these two on the back end, it's like we go from the earth to, I don't want to call it chaos, but it's just really, really, really intense here on the back end. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Ten of Pentacles. Beautiful. One of the best cards in the whole entire deck. We love to see it, right? Now, normally I do like an action card in the first spot, but I will never deny the Ten of Pentacles because it's everything to me. Now, aside from the elements, this is great when it comes to the money aspect of life. To me, this is an energy and a card not of just stability, but of growth, long-term growth, long-term potential. So this is really nice. I think of expansion when I see the Ten of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, you might be home focused in this time. Might have a lot of stuff going on in the home or something about living situation. But I like the Ten of Pentacles. Again, it could just be family stuff, but to me, it's just growth related. So this can be a win, victory, or blessing 100%. But the downside to the 10 is the downside to the earth element in and of itself, because 10 pentacles is a lot of pentacles. So for some Sagis, maybe there is something that feels like it's not moving fast enough, something that's not changing quick enough. Maybe there is something where it feels like you might not be making progress or you're feeling like stuck in place or trapped. So that's what we want to watch out for, especially when we move over to the next card. And again, I'm not going to try to make a positive card into a negative. We still need to clarify it. But the next card over is the Nine of Swords, right? And we see this person. You don't have to be an expert in tarot to understand it. They're sitting up in bed, stressing out. So for some Sagis, maybe you're not getting enough rest. Maybe you're a little tired. Have you been burning the candle at both ends? That could be possible when this card is here. Have you been having a lot of funky dreams? Have you been staying up late at night? For some of you, if you have issues sleeping, this card could represent it. But if we take away all the sleep aspects, this to me is a card of stress, anxiety, nervousness, overthinking. So it is something we want to watch out for. Now, yes, all cards, and it could be somebody else. You might be carefree. You might be cool. You might be Ten of Pentacles. This could be somebody else bringing this energy around. So watch out for that. But the Nine of Swords, to me, does have a little bit of a positive because it's one of the cards that I link to the paranormal and energetic sensitivity. So again, if you're one of those Sagis where you do have a sensitivity to the vibes of other people, the vibes of a place, the vibes of a situation, that could be intensified. So you might want to ground your energy down or at least protect it. Now, moving to the back end, we have a neutral card. So it's very intriguing to me how all this energy plays out because it's like we have a very, very positive card. We have a stress-inducing card, and then we have one that I view as neutral. We have the Seven of Wands. Now, in the positive sense with this card, and we see this person, it's like they're up on a hill, fending things off. There is like a territorial nature to it. There's a protective nature to it that I really like. In the positive sense, this is a card of determination. There's no quit in this energy where it's like, hey, doesn't matter. I'm going to keep pushing. I said I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it. This is a card of follow through and determination. So that's really nice. So again, whether there is something that you're very determined to see through, this could be a good thing. But the downside, this card can sometimes feel trapped, feel like it's me against the world, feel like, why does this have to be so hard? Why does this have to be so difficult? Sometimes this card could show up when there are problems or situations where it's like, okay, well, what can I do about it, right? So we want to watch out for this. There is an aggression that comes through with the Seven of Wands. But right now, I would say overall, I feel neutral because all this energy seems to like cancel each other out, right? Because we have really, really good. We have one that could be difficult. Then we have this energy that's very, very neutral. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Sagi. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What do we got for the Saggies? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot because, as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Ten of Pentacles. Let's start with the good stuff, hopefully. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Sagi, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that 10 of Pentacles here? Why is that 10 of Pentacles here for Sagi? Please. Thank you. Cool. That's good. That's actually really good. Depending, right? I mean, we got the Emperor. I can say for some of you, this is absolutely something going according to plan. Or like if there is anything situation that you've been dealing with in a strategic manner, this is like, all right, everything is going according to plan. Everything is just how I drew it up, which I think is great. So for some of you, this could absolutely be a win, victory, or blessing of some kind, which is great. But the downside is when I see the Ten of Pentacles with the Emperor in the upright, it's like I have to do something. You know how sometimes in life you do things that you want to do, whether that's a hobby, whether it's going out and having a good time, whether it's traveling, whatever. This energy to me feels like a commitment where it's like, no, I said I'm going to do it. Now I have to do it. And it's like I'm trying to meet someone's expectations. So watch out with authority figures in this time. That's another thing. Now, the Emperor is Aries energy that works very well with Sagittarius. That's why I'm saying this front end, 10 Pentacles with the Emperor, this could be a catch-all win, victory, or blessing for a lot of Saggies. So we're at least starting from a very good energy. But yeah, if there is a situation that you're planning it out or going step by step by step, to me, it's like, yeah, everything's going according to plan, which I think is great. But yeah, there's something here about commitment as well. So we're just going to keep moving. And there's nothing wrong with like commitments or committing to certain things, not at all. But there's a big difference between doing something because you want to and doing something because you have to. I don't know why we're talking about that, but hey, it came through. We're going to keep moving. Let's see what's up with that Nine of Swords. Let's see why the Nine of Swords is here. So at least we start at an okay place. I'll take it. So why is the 9 here? Okay. This energy feels a little bit stuck. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords in reverse, and again, just like last week, there is this energy where it's like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again, revisiting something. So watch out for anything flaring back up, obviously. We have tons of fire and air showing up. So we're going to see how it all plays out together. Now, normally the Six of Swords is an energy that's moving forward, right? It is one of my cards of distance and travel and moving ahead. So when it shows up in reverse, it's like an energy that's looping back around. Like that's why I'm seeing that. Here we go again. Here we go again. But with the Nine of Swords and then this energy here in the front where it's like, no, I have to do it like this. I have to do it like that. Really watch out for the energy of feeling stuck, like between a rock and a hard place. Watch out for boredom. Watch out for monotony, stuff like that. And I know a lot of Saggies, my personal life, Saggies love to have fun. They love to keep the energy light. With this energy here on the front end, it's like, I feel drained. I feel bored. It's like an unsettled type of energy. Now, for another portion of you, if we take Saggy out of the equation, or Crosswatch, or whoever, when I see the Nine of Swords with the Six of Swords in reverse, this is absolutely a stressed, anxious, nervous type of energy. So if you are in a good, solid place, watch out for outside influences stressing you out. Because I feel like that could absolutely be a large portion of this, where it's like, all right, well, you're cool. Your energy seems pretty solid, pretty stable, nice. But then this energy from the outside, it's like, why are you making this more difficult? Why are you making this more difficult? So watch out for like situations like that or problems. We're going to keep moving. It is what it is. I mean, if someone's stressed, anxious, nervous, I mean, that's an energy they got to deal with, right? But let's go in on the Seven of Wands. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is that 7 here? Okay, double sevens, nice. Very strategic now. Very, very strategic again. So it's funny that we were seeing this energy here where it's like, yeah, everything went according to plan. Now we have the 7 of Cups in the upright. We got the double sevens on the back end. You know, I love repeating numbers, especially since I only pull small spreads. And this to me is a card of options, paths, choices. So like when I see the 7 of Wands with the 7 of Cups, it's like there is something I have to do or there is something I could do, and it is super super planned out where it's like, all right, well, once I figure it out, I'm diving all in here, which I think is great. So again, whether it's somebody you're connected to that's in this planning strategy phase, whether it's you, I was getting this partially in the Leo reading as well, so this is really intriguing to me. But when the 7 of Wands, remember the determination, and now we have the options. It's like, I will figure this out. I will figure this problem. I will figure this situation out. The only big thing I could say about this and the 7 of Wands is conflicted thoughts, conflicted feelings. That frustrating time where you feel two ways about something, where it's like, I like something and I dislike it at the same time. So, again, watch out for situations, people, whatever, where it's like I feel two ways about them, because then that could make a situation much more sticky, if that makes sense. So there's a whole mixture of stuff. Watch out for complicated situations or complex ones too, because I feel like this energy is coming from all over the place. We do have at least that very solid grounded energy, but when it comes to the strategy and planning, I think that's the best way to go. Sometimes in life, it's best to not wing it, right? And like with the energy going according to plan here, it's like just how I drew it up. And then this energy here on the back end. Sometimes stress could be used as fuel to move us further. That's another thing. So it's like stress, stress. I need to change this. I need to change this. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadows. So complex layered reading this week. I'd say overall there's some great stuff here. But if you look here in the box, there is some challenge too. But position number 1, we have the 10 of Pentacles, Emperor in the upright. I did say this felt like something going according to plan. This could be a win, victory, or blessing of some kind. Maybe a couple of really great days. I like it. So anything that's been planned ahead has a really great energy attached to it, which we also see here on the back end. Cool. We'll take that. I do also get this energy of commitment, of doing something because I feel like I have to, not because I want to. So watch out for any situations that you might feel like that, because it could be frustrating. In the center, we have the 9 of Swords with the 6 of Swords in reverse, stressed, anxious, nervous energy. If you're cool, if you're in a solid, stable place, watch out for like outside situations trying to rile you up, so to speak, because that's partially what I was picking up here. The energy is on edge. But I do think that this energy in the center actually plans the path forward, because when we get to the back end, we have the 7 of Wands, 7 of Cups, much more options available to you than you think, where it's like, okay, I'm going to plan something out and I'm going to stick to it. So again, whether it's you or whether there's somebody else, the strategy is in play. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for the beautiful Saggies, please? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. Let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get your shadow card out here, my friends. Let's get the shadow card out here. Cool. High Priestess, very intuitive. And I know I mentioned earlier in the reading something about energetic sensitivity, and it's showing up here again. Now, the High Priestess, she does connect to Pisces energy. I personally give her to all the water signs, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. She is the matron of psychics, intuitives, tarot readers. She is a very soft, subtle energy, and she could also represent like keeping and holding information. So that's one thing to watch out for when she shows up in the shadows, because there's a lot of mystery around her, where it's like, all right, trying to get information out of the High Priestess, that is a fruitless endeavor. So I don't know why that's coming through here, but watch out for things like that. Like sometimes you can't pry information out of things and others and stuff like that. But I will just say the main thing that's showing up to me here is your gut intuition. So again, with all the things we saw about the planning and the good energy and the complex stuff going on here, it might be extremely important in this time to trust your gut with whatever it is you're dealing with, whether you're going through great times, whether you're going through rough times. And watch your energetic sensitivity with the high priestess. You really might need to ground your energy down or at least protect it in some kind of way. So we're going to put her down right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice, the winners, which will be 3, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.